Welcome to the hottest mess on the internet. This is lolcowqueen. Now, I know I look good today, of course, as usual. However, my back still feels like shit, okay? So if I'm moving around like a stiff wooden mannequin, that's why, so just bear with me. But that's not the only reason I'm upset today. Of course it's not. Do you know who I am mad at? I'm mad at Keem. Keem! I'm mad at Keem. I'm not calling for you, Keem, because I'm too mad to even look you in the face right now. You know why? Because somebody didn't get, oh, that hurts my back, goddammit. Who didn't get fired yesterday that was supposed to? Who the fuck was supposed to get fired yesterday that didn't? Roxy? Is that the name? Roxy? And now they're copying us again over at fucking Milkers, stealing our costume ideas. These fucking bitches. I can't even do all the heavy lifting on my own with my bad back, so we're gonna bring in Tina, and I'm gonna let her trash them for me. Good God. I can't with the stupidity around here. Hopefully Tina will get in here in a minute. Tina! Motherfucker! Tina, where are you? Ugh. So here's my thing. All right, while we're fucking waiting, since apparently I can only rely on myself around here, do you know what it looks like, Keem, to play 45... Here we go. Motherfucker, why were you late?
Sorry, I was at the dentist today, and then I went in the Milkers, and they got me pissed off. What's going on?
Do you know I was about to go off on a diatribe against Keem? Do you know how weak it makes you look, Keem? Now, look, I know I have to be careful with my words here. He's the boss, and unlike the Milkers, who complain that he treats them like shit every day, he treats us like the queens we are. So I don't want to complain too much. However, Keem, what does it look like when you spend 45 minutes showing why Roxy should be fired, only to not fire her? Do you know what that looks like, Keem? It makes you look like a pussy. A pussy! Keem, nobody wants to be a pussy! Don't make me yell and hurt my back even more, motherfucker! Why didn't you fire the bitch? You have the floor, Tina.
He's a cuck. He believes it. She says, this is what she said.
Now, this Queen episode was, I wouldn't say interesting or unique. Again, it still fits within the usual cycle with Queens. But I think you're slowly seeing the crack between Tina and Becky happening in the midst of their argument with Milkers. Even to the point where, Becky even straight up admits that her friendliness with Tina was one big scam, one big fake. It was meant to piss off the people at Milker, which makes sense because the last 2 or 3 days, you could kind of tell that there was a clear, not division, but fractioning down the line for any amount of reason. And I think this particular stream hits it well, especially when Sweet Tea kind of gets involved towards later on with I'll be real with you. Sweet Tea really brought nothing new to the dynamic. If anything, I see Sweet Tea as a tool that Becky is going to use later on to fuck over Tina. I 100% do believe that. Right, but also it's funny, Becky's calling out Keem for being a pussy for not firing Roxy, and later on she tried to make the excuse well, I did my dues, I did my part, Roxy didn't. With them no, well, Roxy is doing her due, but in reality, Becky, you should have been fired for a lot of reasons, right? It's a little bit again calling the kettle. It's a pot calling the kettle black. It's that all over again, and I don't understand. Maybe it's done on purpose. You can say it's part of the quote unquote orchestrated script, right? To be this dumb, right? Because then they brought up the whole thing about characters, and it's no, it's just dumb crap again.
He had vaccination, but I still got to pay for his upkeeping. I got to pay for someone to clean up his shit in the yard. I got to pay for his nails to get done. I have to pay for his dog food. And most importantly, I can't go on trips anymore unless I pay for housing for him.
So that's a big thing. So what she did is just as expensive as adopting a dog. So she adopted a dog or rescued a dog in need. She absolutely did her part. And here's what the rest of us said we would do. Let me share my screen. Here you go, Tina. Now, this is just what I found really quickly. If we really need to dissect this bit by bit, I could find more, but here we go. Refresh. We might all just donate separately or something. It's also a nice thing if you guys have a local shelter to donate your time too. So what I just said there is we would all donate separately, and that's what we did, because Mike actually said a few minutes earlier in this, let me go back a little bit. Mike actually said how if we wanted to wait to donate our money from the show, it would take at least 2 months until that money hits. Listen, I think it's around here. We
won't be able to do it until 2 months from now when we get paid. You know what I mean? But for this show.
Exactly. So the point was that we were not using the show's money in any way for that. We were donating personally, our own personal money or our own personal time. For me, I decided to donate my time by volunteering. We all did different things.
Now here they try to, I wouldn't say sweep the situation that happened in Milker, as I said, but I wouldn't even say that they were trying to counterpoint. Obviously we know Becky isn't gonna go to a shelter and actually help animals. We all know she won't. Maybe Tina will, but then it's funny how Tina's are trying to say, "Well, I didn't donate my money, but I adopted a dog." But it's like, well, adopting dogs are relatively cheap, and we all do know that like most places do give shots for dog for free. So it's like, why didn't you just donate the money? Now they try to say like in 2 months they'll donate their money, but like even if you just donate $100 or you donate the money from like from that little thing you guys did at Gold, even if you donate your money now then and then you can just take the money you lost then from your paycheck like there, and if you do that you can still put that down as a tax write-off. So it's like you can tell they're lying, that they didn't really donate anything, they're not gonna do anything, and Tina's trying to say, well, I did this, so it makes it, well, yeah, but nobody asked you to do that. People were expecting you to give money. It's cool that you adopted a dog, and I don't think anybody will really hate you for that, but at the same time it's not what you promised. And I'm still shocked people give money to queens when they pull their shit every single time. But I guess I don't know better. Maybe I'm the idiot.
Possibly wedged you into the universe just like he did with Glammy.
That may be the case, but hey, hell, I'm here.
I mean, shit, a lot of you are here. You shouldn't be,
I'm
though.
here, I'm queer,
He
get
makes
used to
bad
it.
decisions. He kept Roxy, too. She was a fan.
Yeah, we all see how well that
Yeah.
one's going. With It's Trey Way, I wanted to respond to your first donation where you said, oh, so we gonna pretend that Becky do just admit to orchestrating all this drama? I sure as fuck did. I take credit for whatever I want. What I said is I just knew that by being sweet to Tina and us being best friends, they would fucking implode over there. And they sure did, didn't they? That's all. Does that
I already knew
satisfy
Becky
you?
was a backstabbing bitch. I already knew she didn't like me. I'm fully aware of that. But guess what? I don't like them any worse or any better than I like her, so it don't really matter to me. I'm here for the people. I'm not here for sweet tea, tuna fed, razorback, big tits, Pinocchio, fuck stick, gimp dick, dimple dick. I don't give a fuck about none of these freaks.
I'm asking the chat right now in a poll, who should be the one to wear the fly costume? Tina, me, or Sweet Tea?
And yeah, so here, basically Becky admits that like everything she's been doing the last couple of weeks was just one big psyop to kind of get under Milker's skin. At the same time, I think Tina knew about it the whole time, but also admit that like Becky will betray her regardless. So it's like, why even play along if you know she's gonna be betraying you? Right? It's a little ridiculous because I think most people know that if they're gonna get betrayed by somebody, they would just be like, nope, I'm done. Nope, I don't trust you. I won't play with your game. But I guess it's because the money is so good, it doesn't matter. Like that's how I feel. How it feels like, right? Where maybe the money is so good that it's probably not even worth like calling it out. And obviously Becky will later on go about the whole maybe like there's a civil war brewing within the LCU among different shows, which is like, if there is a civil war that's going to brew, it's probably more likely going to be forced by Keem as a way to raise more subs, as a way to gain more like viewerships and all that, because they've been sort of in a steep stagnation. Especially like Queens has been in a stagnation, and there isn't fresh blood, there isn't any fresh money coming into the universe. So a civil war may be something that could work, but it's like, well, these people don't really go out and interview other people or be interviewed themselves, so it's kind of like mute. I don't know. Till then, yo, have a good one, be safe, and God bless.